Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show where we look at the highs and lows from around world football this weekend. As ever, I'm joined by Patrick.
Let's kick it off with our first winner, PSG, who wrapped up the Ligue Untitled with a 9-0 away win over 10-man Troy. Joe, just how good was it?
Well, it's fantastic for Laurent Blanc. He's won the title 8 weeks early, beating the previous record set by Pep Guardiola in 2013-14 with Bayern of 7. It doesn't get much better than a 9-0 win to do it either.
Well, it's the biggest away win in the history of the league. Ibra scored 4. He's now got an absolutely astonishing record. How many has he scored?
He scored 102 in 115, which is phenomenal. And to put this into context, how good this win was, Troy, at their own stadium, have scored 8 goals in 15 games this season. PSG scored 9 on the weekend. Laurent Blanc must be in dreamland.
Yeah, but the people who run Ligue 1 must not be, because the league is absolute garbage. It's getting trounced by PSG on a regular basis.
Yeah, and in fact, the people who run Ligue 1 are actually PSG's owners. So what they'll be concerned about is that with the competitiveness of Ligue 1 falling backwards, that everybody's kind of just go, I'm not going to bother watching that, I'm going to switch off. So maybe you'll start to see a bit more funding being put into some of the lower teams to try and bring the competitive level back up.
And PSG only really need to suit up for kind of 6 or 7 games a year when they're in the Champions League. And actually, they're through to the next round of the Champions League after beating Chelsea over both legs. So a pretty good week overall for Laurent Blanc, at least.
Yeah, but do you guys at home think PSG can win the Champions League, or is that a step too far? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Our first loser of the weekend is a player that PSG are reportedly keen on signing. It's Diego Costa, who had a terrible day for Chelsea against Everton in the FA Cup on the weekend.
Yeah, he picked up a red card. It's apparently his first for Chelsea, which is kind of amazing. He bit Gareth Barry, or it looked like he bit Gareth Barry. Gareth Barry's denying it.
Yeah, Gareth Barry has since denied it. But more importantly, in a wider context for Chelsea, how worrying do you think that is for hitting that result? And now out of all competitions, and it's just March.
They're still doing okay in the league. Like, since Hiddink came in, well, actually, I think since Boxing Day, they've taken 22 points in 12 games in the league. It's Hiddink's first ever defeat in the FA Cup. So it's not that terrible, but playing Kennedy at left back doesn't exactly fill you with confidence.
Yeah, that is a worry. But another big worry for Chelsea is going to be goal scoring. Now that Costa's suspended, he scored 15 of their goals this season. The 4th top scorer for Chelsea is actually own goals. They've scored more own goals than Pedro. So that's a big worry for Blues fans.
Well, and if they can keep hold of all these players, it looks like Antonio Conte is coming in the summer. But if they can't keep hold of these guys, then they could just get even shitter, which would be absolutely amazing. But probably not great if you're a Blues fan.
But if Antonio Conte does come in, who should he sign and who should he sell? Let us know in the comments below.
Our second winner this week is Romelu Lukaku. He got his first goal against Chelsea since leaving the club, and his second a few moments later as Everton beat them 2-0 at Goodison. Joe?
Yeah, he's having a really good season. It's 25 goals in 36 games up to this point now for Lukaku. And in fact, in a wider context, he's scored 77 goals and assisted 28 times since leaving Chelsea. So I'm sure there'll be a few Chelsea fans kicking themselves, but nevertheless, our Everton fans must be delighted.
Well, his record's absolutely insane. He's got 119 club goals. Before he's 23, he's 2 months away from being 23. The only players who had more goals by that point were Messi, Aguero, Raul, and the Brazilian Ronaldo. That's absolutely unbelievable.
That is an amazing statistic. And you've got to remember as well, these are players. Raul was playing for Real Madrid, Messi's playing for Barcelona, Lukaku has played for West Brom and Everton. So to have that many goals in the Premier League, which is very competitive for a young player to step up into. We know he's a physical specimen, isn't he? He's a big boy. But for a youngster to step up and score that many goals in a competitive Premier League is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he's an underrated player, I think, in some ways. Like, people just make a big deal about his athleticism.
Yeah.
But I think he's a smart player as well. And I wonder if he's being let down by Roberto Martinez at Everton.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about Roberto Martinez. I mean, look at Romelu Lukaku's goal-scoring record, and they're still in the bottom half. You have to be looking, if you're a manager of a team like Everton, surely you've got to be challenging for top 4, top 6. I mean, West Ham are in 5th. I mean, if you're Everton, when David Moyes was in charge, they were consistently challenging for minimum top 8, top 6 places. And now Martinez has come in. Have they gone backwards almost? They're kind of 12th, 13th in the league. They've got a quality striker, and he just can't manage a defence, can he?
Well, you've got to wonder if Lukaku's going to look to leave in the summer. I mean, who do you think could do with him?
Well, PSG, I would imagine, would be all eyes on him, with Zlatan rumoured to be heading out the door. But there's a lot of other big-name teams that will be very interested in signing someone like Lukaku. I mean, Chelsea, potentially, Arsenal, of course.
United,
yeah. So That is a big question for the summer, but where do you guys at home think Lukaku will end up? Will he be at Everton or will he move on? Let us know in the comments below. Our second loser of the weekend is Manuel Pellegrini, whose Manchester City side stumbled to a 0-0 draw against Norwich and missed out on the chance to leapfrog Arsenal. How bad a day was it, Pat?
Well, it's not great for City, but it's even worse for Pellegrini. Pellegrini needs to audition for his next job, and at the moment, he's really screwing up because City just seems to get worse and worse.
Yeah, it's all gone downhill. A lot of people will point to the Pep Guardiola announcement being the point where it went downhill, but in actual fact, they haven't won back-to-back games since October, and 42 of their 51 points have come against bottom-half opposition. That's how bad it's got for City.
And 51 points is the lowest total they've had at this stage of the season since 2008-2009, when you didn't really think of them as a big club. So who knows where Pellegrini's going to go next? He hasn't seemed to have bolstered the midfield, despite Yaya Toure getting old, and they just seem to rely on Aguero pulling something amazing out of the bag.
Yeah, they always seem to be heavily reliant on Aguero, but like you say, for Pellegrini to be in our losers category, the reason behind that is he's auditioning for his next job. Where's he going to go after this? If he finishes 5th with Manchester City behind West Ham, for instance, there's going to be a whole raft of clubs that are going to go, you know what, I'm not going to touch him.
And with clubs like Valencia possibly having a vacancy, some Premier League clubs, and certainly some clubs in Italy, there are always vacancies in Italy, you'd have thought that he might be ruining his chances of going on to have a good end to his career.
But where will Manuel Pellegrini end up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Next up in the winners category is Watford, who got a 2-1 away win at the Emirates to book a place in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Joe, what did you think?
Great day for Quique Sanchez-Flores and all you Hornets fans at home. It's the first FA Cup semi-final since 2007. They're 37 points in the league. They'll be delighted, and now they can put all of their resources into an FA Cup run. They're safe in the league. Don't worry about that now. Doesn't matter where you're going to finish as long as you don't get relegated. Just devote all of your resources, if you're a Hornet, straight into winning the FA Cup. And with a strike partnership of Dini and Ighalo, who look so strong and they look just so hard to play against, why can't it be done?
Well, Ighalo has only scored 3 times in all competitions since the new year. He'd scored 14 in the league up until that point, and they do struggle when Troy Deeney and Ighalo don't play and don't score goals.
Yeah, but will Watford win the FA Cup? Can they do it? Let us know in the comments below. Our final loser of the weekend is Ajax, who missed out on the chance to go to the top of the Eredivisie, Pat.
Well, yeah, they're still a point behind PSV after they drew against NEC Nijmegen. PSV had drawn with Heerenveen previously.
Yeah, it was a real must-win for Ajax. They might have a better goal difference, but with people like Bazur likely to leave in the summer, they've got to win the league this year. They can't afford to lose out to PSV again.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be another rebuild job for Ajax. So what do you think they need to do to get back to the levels of the 70s and the 90s? Let us know in the comments below. Our final winner of the weekend is Newcastle. Now, they may well get smashed by Leicester tonight, but they've appointed Rafa Benitez. Joe, what did you think of that?
It's an unbelievable appointment. I couldn't believe it, and I'm sure everybody at home couldn't believe it either. I mean, Rafa Benitez's career has gone Napoli, Real Madrid, Newcastle. It's very strange. Nevertheless, the Toonami will be delighted. However, if you don't stay up Newcastle, he'll just leave. So for having any sort of chance in the future, you've got to stay up. That's the priority.
Yeah, Real Madrid to Newcastle, the reverse Santiago Muñoz. That's what Benitez is doing this season. But they've got such a great squad. I can't really understand how McLaren did so horribly with them.
No, I mean, players like Wijnaldum, he's going to have a great time under Benitez. And one thing Benitez does do at every club he's at, he really does shore up the defence. And so for people like Taylor and Colaccini, I think they're going to be in for a bit of a lesson in how to defend, especially coming from the Brolly-Wally McLaren.
Well, Benitez is the first foreign manager appointed under Ashley, but is he going to be able to keep Newcastle up, or are they going to be struggling along in the Championship next season? Let us know in the comments below.
So those were our winners and losers from the weekend, but have we missed any, and who have you seen? Let us know in the comments.
And if you enjoyed this video, go over and check out our viral footy news, where you can see why Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi caused a murder.
Unbelievable scenes, and as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.